Welcome to Along for the Ride. I'm Marissa.
And I'm Rachel.
And we are here at Castaway Bay, which is owned by Cedar Point. It's a Cedar Point resort here in Sandusky, Ohio. And we want to talk about other water parks in the area as well, such as Kalahari, and explain our likes and dislikes of both Castaway Bay and Kalahari and where you should stay, depending on your family and your situation. So we're going to break down all the pros and cons of both and let you know our thoughts.
Come along for the ride.
All right, so if you had to pick Kalahari or Castaway Bay, which would you pick?
Both. I do know. I like this one because I don't know the water park, and I like the other one because I don't know.
Okay, so first off, we're going to talk about location. Rachel, you want to break that down for us?
Sure. So we at Castaway Bay, it is located just on the causeway. It's like the beginning of the causeway that leads to Cedar Point. So Cedar Point Drive is right next to us here.
We can see it as we speak.
You can't see the park, but you could practically hear the screams from the roller coasters. It is that close to Cedar Point. Now Kalahari is a little bit further away, and the location is about 5 miles from here, and it's on that main strip in Sandusky that has all of the restaurants and all of the different things.
And shopping and
yes,
more of the commercial
things in Sandusky. So it's a little bit further from Cedar Point. However, it's still in a really nice location because you do have access to a lot of things other than just the theme park. So as far as if we're going to compare the two, I think your location, it kind of depends on what your plan is here. If your plan is to go to Cedar Point, Castaway Bay is by far your best choice for location.
Definitely, I agree 100%. Yeah, I think you can't beat how close you are to the park. And I mean, really, just to go to those other places by Kalahari is not far either. So I think you're kind of centrally located in a sense.
Correct.
So, yeah.
It's so if Cedar Point is a factor for you, Castaway Bay is definitely closer. And one of the perks of staying here is you get into Cedar Point a little bit early with your stay. So something to think about.
For sure. Okay, so if you are looking to go to an indoor water park, chances are you are going with your family and are looking for one of two experiences. You're either looking for something calm, relaxing, feel like you can just kind of take a nap whenever you want to kind of thing, or you're looking for like the go, go, go thrills, let's like have, a party type atmosphere. So besides the fact that Castaway Bay is affiliated with Cedar Point, I feel like this is the ultimate relaxing, let's chill, let's grab a drink and just kind of hang out, let the kids do some arts and crafts kind of place. Like,
exactly.
It's quiet here, it's relaxing, it's not overcrowded, it's just very calm.
You walk through those doors and honestly you feel like you've stepped into another place.
Yes.
I'm talking like a Caribbean location.
Yes.
Somewhere
tropical.
Like special. You just feel like you really, like you walk through those doors and it's kind of a weird feeling, but you don't want to leave.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So yeah, if you're looking for that chill, relaxation type vibe, Castaway Bay is definitely the place for you.
But what if you're looking for excitement?
So on the flip side, Kalahari, I feel like as soon as you walk in, it's like, there's just stuff everywhere kind of thing. Like there's, restaurants, there's stores, there's games, there's arcades, and there's all sorts of stuff. Kids running.
It's like, whoa.
Crowded. There's lots of people. It's exciting, but it's just a different vibe. You get more of that like safari vibe there for sure.
It's like I'm gonna kind of compare it to like a rainforest cafe type situation where they have like fake animals. They're trying to create a vibe where I feel like here at Castaway Bay, it's like the vibe's in place. It's just calm, cool, relaxed kind of thing.
Yeah.
There, it's definitely like, I'm sure you could have a relaxing time at that
For sure.
at Kalahari, but it's definitely chaotic as soon as you walk in the door.
Yeah, it's a bit more on the overwhelming side, in my opinion. And I personally prefer Castaway Bay in this regard because I get overwhelmed easily. So walking into Kalahari definitely kind of push me to my limits a little bit. I think that kind of brings out another point here. So as far as, you know, your family, if you have little ones, I think Castaway Bay is better because it is more relaxing and it's more like younger kid oriented. They have lots of activities and things like that that are great for the younger kids.
Like coloring.
Yeah, they have like a craft time, so you can come up here and do a bunch of crafts and things like that. They have dance parties and just like fun little like interactive games and stuff like that. That's really great for the littler kids.
And they also have a cast of like characters, so
Yes.
their own branded characters that they've created with backstories, and it's like really cool to walk in and be greeted by
Yes,
a little
Gordy the
character.
turtle,
Yeah.
and you know we had Rocket the sloth yesterday, so it was really fun. It kind of makes you feel like you have like a little bit of a Disney vibe where you got the
Exactly.
characters and everything, and get to go give them
Immersive.
hugs and
Yeah.
you know it's fun, and the kids really enjoy and appreciate that. So I mean, Anna I think would just do the activities that they have in the lobby all day long if she could. Which
For real.
I mean, they only have them certain parts of the day, but she would spend all day doing activities for sure.
Now on the flip side, if you have a teenager or like a tween and above 12, I'd say, Kalahari, I think is your
Yeah.
place. Oh my goodness, there were so many activities. When we were in the arcade alone, there's virtual reality. They had laser tag. They had mirror mazes. The little kids casino arcade is what I'm gonna call it. It was crazy. I've
Yeah.
never seen an
It was
arcade
big.
like so like
Yeah.
pumping is the word I'm going to use. So like the vibe there is definitely more in that teenager grouping. When we walked in, I didn't feel like Anna had loved it. Don't get me wrong. When we walked in, she had like excitement.
She was excited, but
I think she got a little let down because it wasn't necessarily for her age group. So that younger kid might get a little overwhelmed there because of the options.
yeah, for sure, I can see that. And I would say even getting to the aspect of the water park itself.
Yes, let's talk Waterpark.
Yeah, Castaway Bay definitely has a lot more younger kid friendly attractions.
Yes.
They have the wave pool. They have some other pools with like basketball hoops. They have like a little kiddie splash pad. You know, just more kid oriented.
Little kid oriented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that they don't have things for older kids as well. They do have a few slides that are for older kids too, or adults. But I feel like they definitely seem to cater a little bit more to the younger kids. I think overall it was a more well-rounded, like they have a little bit for everyone
They
at
do.
Castaway Bay. They don't
Now-
have a lot for everyone. They have a little bit for everyone.
I will say if you're an adult though, Castaway Bay might also be a really great place for you if you're like looking for a water park. And I'm going to say that because it is not like kids are just running
It's not as
crazy.
crowded. It's a lot calmer.
They may not have as many attractions, but there's less people on it, and so you're going to have a little bit more. You could have, I'm not going to say a romantic vacation because you're at a kid's water park, but a little bit more of a subdued. You could make it relaxing here.
Right. And my other point with that too is that you feel a little bit more comfortable letting your kids kind of go because you can pretty much see them from anywhere in the water park. It's small enough where I can be, you know, sitting by the wave pool and see my daughter across the way in another pool if I wanted to. So not that I necessarily would, but
Right.
it's an option. Where at Kalahari, they have a lot more older kid rides, which is great. They have a family raft ride, things like that, which is really fun. But
It's huge.
it's big and it's harder to keep track of where everybody's at and that kind of thing. So it's just a very different
Vibe.
feel.
Yeah.
It's a different feel. It's a different vibe.
Now, about the water park, at this moment, at the time of this filming, Castaway Bay does not have day passes. So the only way to partake in the water park is to actually reserve a hotel room. Now, if you are at Kalahari, though, you are able to just get a day pass. So that's also something to think about. And we priced it out. It doesn't always make sense to do the day pass. Sometimes it's actually cheaper if
just
there's the
stay.
number in your room to stay.
Yeah.
But let's talk about price point a little bit.
Yeah.
Granted, the prices go up and down depending on the season, but what were your thoughts as far as price point?
Yeah, so I mean, I would definitely say Castaway Bay is much more affordable, and the price of admission into the water park is included in your hotel stay. So that is fantastic. And I mean, we were able to stay here for this weekend. I want to say it was maybe about $200 per night.
Yep.
Which
For
we've
five
definitely, that's for
in a
5 of
room.
us in a room. And
Yeah.
we've definitely seen you know, it'd be a little bit more expensive. We've definitely seen it be lower. I think last time we stayed, it was more in like the $150 range.
Which is a steal.
Yeah, so you can definitely get a really, really good deal on the hotel and access to the water park here. But Kalahari, on the other hand, it's pricey.
But
It's
has
pricey.
options.
It does.
So like you do have the option to have a room that has a kitchenette and actually be able to cook your own meals. So
Yeah.
like, I guess if you're looking at that price tag, but you're
Right.
willing to make food for yourselves, it could possibly, I'm not gonna say be cheaper because I still think it's more, but it could offset that
Yes,
price.
I will say, yeah. I mean, I know I went years ago with some friends, and I think there was probably about like 10 to 15 of us and we shared some suites, and it, you know, it was like, I want to say like 3 bedrooms or 2 or 3 bedrooms, and yeah, like it was very affordable because we all split the cost, that kind of thing. It evened out to be not too expensive. So it depends on, you know, what exactly you're doing, and you know, how big of a group you have, and how old they are, and everything all plays a factor for sure.
On the topic of food, I think that it's kind of clear winner as far as variety of food goes and options. But then there's a caveat to that, so hear me out. I think Kalahari has the better food options for sure.
I agree.
They have a couple new restaurants in there that are updated. They have great ambiance. They have quick service. There's snacks with apples and caramel apples and goodies and ice cream, and just overall there's like a lot of food options.
Yeah, the variety is there for sure. Yeah, whether you want pasta or burgers or, you know, like they have it all.
Breakfast buffet, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Now, what about Castaway Bay?
So Castaway Bay does have the High Tide Cafe, which is really great. We had that for breakfast actually this morning, and it was very enjoyable. I think all of us really liked it.
We did.
I will say there is the Quaker Steak and Lube restaurant attached to the resort, which is great as well. But beyond that, there's not a whole lot more. There is a little, what do we want to call it?
Concession stand
Inside
sort
of
the water park.
Yeah, it's a bit limited. They have pizza, they have like pretzels, and some things like that, but they don't really have like a full meal like lunch type situation. So,
And there is sprinkles. The Sprinkle Shack
Yes.
has ice cream and
Yes.
flurries. So, and they're very good. Like
Definitely.
soft serve, like not a ton of options, but it's great.
yes, and then there is
However-
the Rockets Market.
Yes.
Where you can also get some sandwiches, kind of like on the go type stuff. They have sandwiches, they have cakes, they have donuts, they have
Starbucks
pastries,
coffee.
Starbucks coffee.
Yeah.
So they do have lots of options there too. So that's great grab and go kind of area. And then they do in the store in Flo's shop, they have like, you know, essential things that you can take to your room and snack on as well. So, you know, there's definitely things that you can eat here, but it is a little bit more limited when you're comparing things to Kalahari for sure.
Now, one thing I do want to mention though is if you're going to Cedar Point and you're on the dining plan, we are so close to the park. I
Yeah.
think we timed it before, and it's like 3 minutes from here to the gate. So like,
Yeah.
that's kind of huge. So let's say you go to Cedar Point frequently, you're on the dining plan. If you're staying at Castaway Bay, it would not be difficult to just drive over, eat, and come back.
Totally,
So-
and we've done that before.
As far as like keeping yourself on a budget, if that's something you already had planned, it's kind of like
It's so easy. You just pop it right over there.
this
I
would
mean,
be my choice.
it's
if you're
just
on the
as
dining
fast to go to
plan.
McDonald's, I feel like. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, may as well just pop over to Cedar Point and hey, jump on a ride or two
Like,
while
drive
you're at it.
after, eat at Hugo's, and come back.
Yeah,
So
why not? That's what's
kinda-
great. It's so close. It's convenient. Yeah, I definitely appreciate that aspect for sure. So we wanted to talk about the amenities at each. So Castaway Bay does have Castaway Play, which includes the indoor mini bowling and mini glow golf and an escape room. They have an arcade. They have a VR game of some sort. They do have lots of activities as far as that goes. So, I mean, honestly, we could have probably spent hours in there.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, like, so you're not gonna get bored by any means.
And then they do have, in their lobby space, they have pre-planned activities.
It's kind of like a cruise, like, you know, like activities if you've been on like a Carnival cruise before.
They have like a fun squad type of thing where the people
Yeah.
come in, they do like activities. Anna did stretching with the characters. They had story time. There's different crafts. They have a virtual aquarium.
Yes, the virtual
Which is
aquarium
really
is
cute.
so fun. She colors a little picture, and then it ends up floating up on the wall. So
Yeah.
little screen. It's
You
really
gotta see
cute.
it.
Yeah,
Super
we'll,
cute.
we'll share that here. But it's so much fun to you know, have all those activities, and they're really great for kids, especially the dance parties are great. They even have steel drum bands that come and play.
As an adult, that's like my
so
favorite
fun.
part of this.
It's just relaxing.
It just makes you feel like it's special. Like they
Yeah.
really took the time to see what an adult might want, and the kids love to dance to the music. It's just really cool, and it's right there in the lobby or upstairs here. They have a little stage, so
Club
there's
Castaway, yeah.
definitely always something happening here. And so if you're not going to the park, which is right there,
If you're not going to Cedar Point or the water park, there's still plenty to do.
so it's like, but you don't feel overwhelmed.
Yes.
That's the key part here about Castaway Bay. You just do not feel that. Like,
And I feel like in a
pressure.
weekend you can still accomplish doing a little bit of everything
Yeah.
without, feeling rushed at all.
Now, on
So,
the flip side, I mentioned a lot about Kalahari and like the arcade and the different things, but there's a couple of amenities over at Kalahari that they do not have here at Castaway Bay. The thing that Kalahari has that I wish Castaway Bay had, because this would just make it the ultimate resort destination. Spa.
yeah, that would
Like,
be nice.
I think the fact that you could go have a massage, well, yeah,
That would be
huge.
great. But at the
But-
same time, it's so relaxing here that I almost feel like you don't need it.
Talking about just overall the resort in general, I'm really big into ambiance and immersion and theming, and having gone to Disney World, okay, and going to like Animal Kingdom Lodge where they take the African theming to like an amazing level. I was a little bit underwhelmed with Kalahari's theming just because I've seen, instead of the fake animals, I mean, they have a savannah. Okay, so from me personally, Castaway
little bit of
Bay's
letdown.
theming is just something that I personally enjoy a little bit more. What was your thought?
Yeah, I can agree with that. And I also too feel like, I mean, we've been to Kalahari a few times, and every time, like, they make small improvements here and there, but I feel like overall, like, it needs a good update.
Some refresh.
Like, just a big refresh would be fantastic. Like, yes, the restaurants have changed and some things have changed here and there, but as a whole, I feel like it could use just,
a dose of 2022.
yeah, where Castaway Bay obviously just had that done recently,
They did.
and you can tell and you feel it, and it feels cleaner, it feels just,
Smells good.
yeah, it's got a much more up-to-date vibe
Fresh
to it.
vibe.
Yes, and I'm not saying this is like the classiest hotel I've ever been to. It's still very basic in most regards, but it has that updated look that I appreciate.
It really makes me feel here like I would compare this to like the dockside at Universal Studios, which
Yes.
happens to be one of our favorite places to
Yes,
stay.
and if you haven't watched our dockside versus surfside video,
Please
go
do.
check that one out. It's great.
It's good.
Great spot to stay in Florida.
So it kind of gives me that Florida vibe, and that's what. So we only live 2 hours away, 2.5 hours away from Sandusky. When we drive here and we stay here,
We
for
feel
a
like we're
weekend,
elsewhere.
I feel like we went to
We
Florida.
one time we stayed here for like 24 hours one
Yep.
night, and we felt like we had flown to the Caribbean.
Like a refresh.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's just nice to you look outside and sure, yeah, you're in Ohio, but inside you don't feel it. And even looking outside, I mean, looking at our view right now, you're looking over the little bay, and it's really pretty. You got water, and they'll have boats coming in and things like that. It's still very relaxing. It definitely lends to that kind of bay, harbor, marina type vibe. So it definitely is something I appreciate.
Okay, so as a family, we're gonna break this down into 3 categories. As a family with little kids, which resort would you choose?
I would choose Castaway Bay for
Me
sure.
too. Okay, now you have teenagers. Which resort would you choose?
I think I would probably choose Kalahari because I think they're going to be a little bit more entertained there.
I'm gonna choose Castaway Bay, and the reason being, I'm gonna have my teenagers spend the day at Cedar Point and then come back to the water park
That's a good point. I didn't think
and
of
then
that.
enjoy it. So like, but you see how this could go any which way, and it just really depends on your plan. But for me,
Well, and that's the thing too. If you're not planning to go out to Cedar Point at all, then it would be Kalahari. If you're planning to go to
Kalahari's
Cedar
cool,
Point, Castaway Bay.
now as an adult, which did you prefer?
Castaway Bay.
Castaway Bay for me too. Now, that doesn't mean that I wouldn't stay at Castaway Bay and then sneak over to Kalahari for
free.
dinner. Because after 5, they have a couple really nice places, a couple bars, a couple really cool places for food.
Yeah, and it's just a quick drive, so it's not far.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So overall, I really don't think that you could go wrong with either resort.
It just depends on what you and your family are looking for.
If you find a steal at either place, I mean, snag it. If you can get Castaway Bay in that $100 range of like $150 to $200, you're getting a deal. If Kalahari, anything under, it seems like $300 is like their magic price point. But if you can get anything under that, I think you're really getting a good deal there too. Obviously.
And I would say too, you know, considering there's not a whole lot more in the Midwest that is open all year round because the weather gets kind of crummy after, you know, the fall months here. But yeah, so it's you know, otherwise you're gonna have to go to Florida or California or, you know, those states that are further away to get something like this that makes you really feel like you're on vacation. So I think this is a great option that's more affordable here at Castaway Bay.
You can drive here.
Yeah, you can drive here depending on where you live, but if you're in the, you know, states surrounding the Ohio area, then yeah, this isn't far and it gives you a little taste of the tropical Caribbean.
If you have any questions about either one, or if you have stayed at either or both, we would love to hear what your thoughts are on the resorts, because, you know, that was just our take. I'm sure other people have had different experiences, and I'd love to hear about those as well.
But yeah, let us know in the comments what your thoughts are. And then don't forget to hit the like button. And then please subscribe so that we can we can continue doing these videos and help you guys plan your vacations more and more and better. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks for coming along for the ride.
See you soon.